Okay,
So thank
cool.
you guys for joining. Is everyone's mics working?
Maybe.
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. And then for the sake of giving out instructions, is everyone in here right-handed dominant or left-handed?
Right.
Right hand.
Right.
Right. Oh man, you guys made my life easy. Cool. So yes, this is a early access build, an early access feature that we are testing. You guys are one of the first 50 to see this, so very excited to get your thoughts. We are bringing custom map making all in game to Pop One.
Nice.
Cool.
So very excited for this. So let me load this. No one judge me here, please. I am not artistic, but this is an example.
Whoa.
Let me let this load.
It's very pink.
So this is something that I put. Is it still pink for you, or has it loaded?
It's loading.
It's loaded.
Oh.
Nice.
Awesome. So yeah, this is something I put together last night in about an hour, and I have no building knowledge. I'm not artistic. If you guys saw a sketch of mine, you'd probably make fun of me. But it's very easy and fun to do. So in about 15 minutes, I want to give you all kind of the instructions on how the tools work, and then of course I'm here to answer questions as well and just talk it out with you guys. So if you want to come over here, we'll use some of these shapes for the tutorial. So on your right hand, the A button, which is going to be your bottom button, if you hold that down, that'll bring up kind of like your Pablo Picasso palette of options here. And I want to go through these options to show you how they work, and we can just talk through while we do it. So on the right side is your grab feature. That's the far right one. Go ahead, hover over that, and select it by just letting go of the A. And now any object in front of you here, if you use your trigger to click on it and pull, you can move those objects around. You can use your thumbstick to bring it closer to you. You can also use your thumbstick to push it further out. And if you'd like to have less freedom to move and more linear movement, you can actually let go of the object and you'll notice like colored cones on it. You can pull those cones in one direction to kind of slide the movements. That way you don't lose your plane that you're on.
Neat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
Nice.
that is really all there is to on the movements. The next feature is on that wheel again. That is the scale function. That is going to be the one in the upper right. This is how you make objects larger and smaller. Your cursor should turn yellow if you're on the right version of that. So I want to wait. There you go. There's a lot of small things you can do with the resize. So you might notice a lot of like resize options. There's the green arrows. Those are scaling it, but not uniformly, just on that one side. There's the blue ones that are on the sides of objects. Those will expand it in one direction. And then there's the white box inside that will uniform scale it. I will say straight up, the white box needs a lot of iteration. So that one might be a little wonky at the moment.
If I make this big enough, will it
Oh
crash?
man, the reflection is trippy.
Will it crash if I
Will it
make
crash?
this
No.
as big?
No. For reference, real quick before you do that, select the ground for a second. I'm just gonna move this over just slightly. Oh shoot! I'm just gonna move this over just so we can get room.
the truck's
Look at this. You see this? Oh, it's alright.
Oh
You
my
see you see the ice mountain behind you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This gives you an idea. You're not gonna crash things.
Oh wow. Oh, okay. Holy
It's
crap.
coming to get you.
Oh no.
Yes, you will not crash. I think that's a really good segue, actually. So we're going to be adding the UI in the future for like where you're at in the build limits and things like that. I can tell you from us testing internally and people who are already in here, we have not hit that limit with well over 1,000 stuff.
Oh,
So
cool.
Wow.
there's very large limits. I will say the only limits that you need to worry about every now and then is if you do too many trees, that might be something that hurts performance, but we're working on that. But right now, trees are the only difficult object. Everything else, I mean, I'll put like 3 of these in the sky right now. Like, you know, you can you can go wild.
That's crazy.
Whoa. I just threw myself up in the air. I'm coming back to you guys. While I'm coming back to you, if you'd like to get a better perspective of the things you're working on, if you click down on your thumbstick, it'll actually enter you into fly mode. Like kind of like a mini Minecraft mode, so you can get better vantage points and angles on what you're doing.
Wait, which one? Just
Your thumbstick, your right thumbstick,
Yeah.
the one you use to move around. Just click it down.
oh, okay, I see. Fly
and
mode
then you will be
enabled.
in fly mode, which you can use your thumbstick then to go up and down and all around.
Cool.
You just get better vantage points, basically. There's also rotate on the flywheel, so if you hold down the A button, and go to the rotate, any object you have there will bring up the options to pull on those axes, so you can rotate the object. So I want to make sure that works for everybody.
It's working.
Send it. If someone grabs on that object that you're holding and grabs real tightly, there is a way that they might just spin. I mean, it's nauseating, but it'll work.
Oh god.
What if everybody grabs it?
Hello, welcome.
Hi, Spike.
Hello, we're welcome to Pop One Builder, where you can build custom maps. So we're really excited to show this. I'm showing everyone some of the tools. You haven't missed much. Are you a righty or a lefty?
Right-handed.
Perfect. So the quick
Righty.
version of how far we've made is if you hold down the A button, which is the bottom button on your right hand, that'll pull up the object menu. We've gone through grab and scale and rotate. So basically, if you hover over these options, they'll bring up that tool, and then whatever object you click on, you'll be able to resize or move or scale, rotate.
Oh, this is so cool. It's like Mario Maker.
Yes, Mario Maker has been something brought up a lot today. Let's push the mountain back a little bit just to give us some room here. You'll also notice on the flywheel the duplicate option, which is in the top left. Any object you click on there will just duplicate it very quickly for you. Look at that truck. It's so crazy when it's so flat. Is the duplicating feature working for everyone? I want to make sure that gets worked.
I think so. Let's see.
Yep. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
great.
Perfect.
Look at that.
What is it? Oh, there we go.
So you guys have you've already learned now basically every movement option that you can do to make anything. The only thing is with the movement tools that I haven't explained is that there are hotkeys to do those quicker if you choose. If you hover over the icons, they'll tell you what the hotkeys are. So like duplicate, it says right grip under it.
Oh, okay.
So what that means is if you're in the move, like say you're in grab and you're moving something around, if you wanted to duplicate it quickly, you can press down your right grip and you'll start duplicating with each trigger pull. So it's like a shorter way to do things if you choose.
Cool.
And then, oh, go ahead.
I was just jumping ahead about like somebody policing for, I don't know, inappropriate maps.
Yeah, that is going to be something we're figuring out with the privacy policy. There's obviously things that we don't want in our game. I think everyone probably knows what those are. How we go about that, we'll have to figure out. Same thing with maps that are similar to other properties. But at the end of the day, if you're using the in-game tools to make, like, say, someone I know right now is making Complex 64 from GoldenEye in here. That is it's still a custom map that you're making using different tools. So intellectually, you should be fine. But we are working out that kind of stuff. Yeah, you should be fine.
And then we can save maps that we make.
Yes, so that is pretty easy. So on your offhand, your left hand, if you hit the Y button, which is the top button, that'll bring up the save menu. So we're saving, you would hit save new map, you would type in the name of it, and then hit save, and that would save to your My Maps section. Saves are only local. So for instance, let's say this map right now that we're looking at is like a saved map, something that we want to make better. If I had it saved, I would load it. It would then I'm going to load the map I started with just so you can see this. So like I would load the map that we started with, and then we'd all be like, oh, hey, let's make this map better. We can all start editing together now, but the save file is only local to you. So when we're all done, if everyone wanted this map saved, you would have to save it individually. We're working on better publishing tools later on, but for these early builds, that'll be the way to save maps, share it with a friend, and work with them. So, if you wanted to build a map with friends, you can start up a room, give your codes out, and then everyone can join together and build together.
When will that be published to the public? No ETA?
It'll be like
You-
Minecraft.
You mean like this feature as a whole?
Yeah, when will this come out?
No ETA on this yet.
We're looking forward to it.
I will say it will be at least the early access version that would go public will be this year.
Nice.
So you're not waiting until next year. I learned my lesson a while ago on dates because things change so
Sure.
often. So I try to give myself some room. If you guys want to come over here, I want to show you one more interesting thing, but they only really work well with these kind of primitive shapes over here. So if you select any of these primitive shapes like the circles and the cones, and then go to your flywheel and go to edit object, you'll see a bunch of textures that come up. Every object has a different volume of textures. I think the primitive shapes just have the most. This is a good way to get creative. So like, for example, the water on that waterfall over there, we don't have water assets yet, but I took a cube, gave it kind of like a watery texture, and then stretched it to make it look more like water, and then placed it there. So kind of get creative with the shapes that are there and different textures, and you can even stretch some of these textures to make them look even more different. So it's all about getting creative with the assets that we have, but we're going to constantly keep adding more.
Cool.
And then finally on that wheel, I guess there's 3 things we haven't looked at, but I'm going to go through these quick. Delete will work just like you think. Any object you select will delete it, and undo will undo the last action. I have messed up my maps a lot and have had that undo like 50 times, so you can go back very far.
So can you?
And then the last, oh yeah, go ahead.
Since it's a group effort, if someone jumps in, I mean, is it public or private? Can you password this area so random people can't jump in and just start deleting things? Because obviously you can only go back to your last save.
Yeah, it's a good point. So the functionality for right now, so I'll speak on that because what it may turn into will be based on the feedback we get from you guys and the players. So that'll constantly change. But the way it functions right now is, say you wanted to work with just certain friends, it would be the same as normal custom rooms.
Okay, so you can password it.
Anyone who's in this, yeah, you can password it. But when your friends are in there, so say you're in there and you have a map you kind of worked on and you want some help. They can delete things in there. So you want to like talk with everyone, like, hey, if we're gonna do something big and start deleting, let's save first, so we have that new version. You know what I mean?
Cool. And any plans for a 2D editor?
No, just the in-game editor would be the plans.
Okay.
I think that's something a little beneficial. I know where 2D can help because you can kind of work a little differently, but a lot of people just don't have the knowledge for that kind of stuff, so we really want to make it easy where everything's just in-game for them. Some of you, I think, have already seen it, but if you go to the flywheel, you also can create objects down at the bottom. It looks like a bricks, and that will open up the menu for all the assets that we currently have, and you can just click on something and it will populate in front of you. And then we'll be constantly iterating on that based on feedback and wants and needs. Oops.
So outside of
And
this
I'm trying to-
private build, we have to. Will this become unavailable, or can we mess with it? Say tomorrow or next
Yeah,
week?
that's a great question. So as of now, you being in here, you will have 100% access to this 24/7.
Cool, but
So there's, oh, go ahead.
no, I should let you finish talking before I ask more questions.
Oh yeah, there's no worries. I have a little bit of a delay on my side, so I apologize about that. You'll be able to access this 24/7. To access it, you would need to do the same way that you did like this every time. So if you wanted to go back to population 1, you would need to switch the channel to live, uninstall, reinstall. However, very, very soon, big asterisks on the soon, but this could be as early as this week, we will be giving you access to a different version. That way you can launch it as a separate app. So you'll have your population 1 app, and you'll have this app, so you don't have to do this way that you got in here again. You'll just go, hey, I feel like building right now, so you just open the Pop One Builder app rather than the live version.
Cool.
Cool.
Have you guys tested this on...
That is...
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Have you tested this on Rift, Revive, and stuff like that? Is it only Quest 2?
It is in the plans. No, this will support everything. Right now, we only have the Quest 2 build, but soon we'll have the PCVR build as well for testing because we want this functioning on all platforms.
Cool. Thank you.
And they will be all crossplay, so no difference than the standard game. Anything made on the PCVR version will be playable on the Quest as well, and vice versa. One thing that's important to us is like finding something for everyone. So there's kind of two aspects to that. The first aspect is some people like to build and some people like to play. So we want the tools to be really good for the builders, and that's based on feedback and testing. But we also want to have tons of maps ready to go when this goes live in early access. That way, if you're not a builder, you can enjoy the fruits of like all of that functionality and really experiment. But we
Put
also
a truck on my logs.
oh, look at that, that's funny.
That was me.
Cool. Is there a way to group?
We also kind of oh yeah, go ahead. Oh, that's a good question. You talking about group selecting?
Yeah, if I can, I made these two horn things, and can I select both? Set them as a group.
Yeah, let me create a lot of objects in the sky right here so we can do that. So one way to multi-select right now, and I think this is where feedback will be the biggest because this feature's been heavily requested. You can hotkey it. So the way you can do this is on your offhand, hold down the X button, that's the bottom button, and then select on any items that you want to move together. And then when you have all your selected items together, you can let go of X, and now you can move those in tandem.
Oh.
And you can also
Oh, that's
duplicate
cool.
them in tandem. You can resize them in tandem. So you'll be able to do all
Cool.
that.
I
I think that's a
did not do it
really
right.
useful feature.
X and.
Wait, I don't.
Oh no, that's not it. You have to be on move or.
Wait,
Yeah, you want to be on move, and then hold down the X button,
Yeah.
and then click one by one on each object that you want to multi-select.
There we go. Got it.
Then let go of the X, and then you'll have control of moving both those or manipulating both them at the same time.
Cool.
I got it. Okay.
Any, sorry, what were you gonna
Another
That was a
fun
good
thing that
question.
we want to do is the screen's going to go black in a second, and if it breaks for me, I might have to reset, but you guys will be just fine, and I'll rejoin.
Oh.
But it's important to us to have some variety, so I'm going to show you a little something real quick. So screen's about to go black.
Ooh.
So it's important to us that you don't only have one environment to work off of, because I think that the possibilities can get a little stale over time. So there will be different presets and different environments that we have. This is one that I can show you now. But it's fun to have different maps, because then these Viking assets kind of make more sense when you look at what a completed map can be. This is a map that one of our environment artists put together very quickly.
Cool.
Yep.
Any plans on monetizing this?
Not sure yet. When this goes live in early access, this will be something that for everybody to use. We want everyone to have fun, but those kind of talks we're still kind of figuring out. Probably pretty far down the pipeline.
Yeah. I was thinking that it would be a great way for people to earn income, I guess. I don't know who would buy maps, but,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not a map maker, but cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of that functionality is going to come down to the platform tools that are there. Obviously, each platform has like their own rules for in-app purchases and things like that. So we're really navigating new waters, but we really want to be there to start those trends and bring not only Pop 1 but VR in general. Keep trying to elevate it when we can. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but do you guys see the orange? Or orange like rectangle in the sky, probably purple now since I've clicked on it.
Yeah. Is it the border?
Yeah.
That's the zone bound. So for instance, this all these features are based off Team Deathmatch at the moment, but whenever you start a map, those will always be there, and that dictates the size of the map. So if you want it that big, great. If you want to make like a 1v1 Thunderdome, you could make a really tiny one, or you could just make it
a
as
lot of
big as
people
you
wanted
want.
that.
So really, we leave the size and dimensions and what's inside it all up to you guys, but you can change those zone bounds, and anything inside is good to go. Anything outside would be in the zone. And then you see those blue and red PJ statues everywhere. Those are the spawns. So you can go into your buildable, add them to the map, and you can place them anywhere you want. And when you start a Team Deathmatch map, which is the same way as you would with custom rooms and room settings, then those would be the spawns for both teams.
So I don't.
Someone has to make a Nuketown.
Yeah.
It's
There'll
really
probably be
funny that you said that
versions.
because somebody said this looked like Nuketown one day, but like an ice version, because you have the two buildings on each side, the truck in the middle, but a
Like
boat
the
this
rock town.
time. Yeah, it's almost like a mini Nuketown.
So
Someone
if
made
you
that
make a
comment
private
yesterday.
game here, you can set bots and just have 5 versus bots, I guess. Is that a
You sh That's a good question. I haven't tested bots in here, but as long as in normal custom rooms, you can have bots, correct? It's been a
I
while
don't
since
know.
I've
I
done
don't
that.
play in custom rooms, so
Yeah, I need
might
to
be.
look at that. It might just be no bots at the moment,
Hmm.
Yeah,
and
no
it would
bots.
basically just be setting your player limits. So, however many players you have in here, you'd want at least that many spawns.
Cool. No cyber
Yeah.
builds yet.
How are you flying so fast and moving
Push
so
your
fast?
right joystick down, like push it in, and it changes you to fly mode.
There you go.
Ah, I see.
Yes.
Okay.
There are settings where you can make fly mode even faster. If you ever want to tweak settings, I won't go through them individually, but on the save menu, which is the top button on your left hand, you'll see that cog wheel up there. There's different settings to
Mm-hmm.
play around with. One of them is your fly speed. So if it's not fast enough for you, turn it up to 100 and zoom around the map. Sometimes if you make a bigger map, that might be very useful.
Hmm. What's the
But
limitations
yeah,
on
what we're
these? Uh, what's the most players you can have in a map in a custom room?
We are probably going to learn that tonight because we are going to have some office hours from 5 to 6 going through some maps, and we don't know the limit yet because it hasn't been smoke tested with that, so we're really going to figure that
Oh,
out
that would be
tonight.
so cool if there was like a fly fight. Like you see, you just put all
Hmm.
these glaciers like in the air.
Fly mode is only for map making, though, right?
Yes, that will only be for map making. Once the game would start, then the normal rules would apply, but we are planning to add things like the jump pads and everything, so that can give some fun,
Cool.
insane level creation ideas in my mind.
Just all jump pads on the ground.
Oh, that'd be fun. Swords only, jump pads everywhere,
There you go. Yeah, and grenades.
and grenades. Yeah,
Yeah, put the jump pads along the wall so you can bounce sideways too.
yeah. I gotta
That'd
turn
be
my fly
cool.
mode down. I turned it too fast. All right, there it is. But yeah, so what we're doing is after this, or shortly after this, it might be an hour or so, is I will invite you guys to the Pop One Discord group that can talk about this. So it's the same Discord. I'll just give you permissions to see the builder group and tag you there. But there will be other people who have done this and are building, and we really encourage feedback and discussion in there. We're always checking the feedback channel and logging it. But it's a great place to talk with your peers and see what everyone else is building. I'll also give you instructions for everything we talked about in a PDF that I'll send to you, so you don't have to memorize any of the stuff either.
Cool.
But
Awesome.
weekly we'll have AMAs in that Discord that talk with you guys. We'll have weekly days where we jump in and play with you guys, and it's really just learning with you. So your feedback's like instrumental in figuring out what's best for everybody.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Cool.
Someone should make forests and then people can hide in the trees.
I was thinking
Hide with
stuff.
swords.
The idea I have you probably can't do right now, but one person's the raid boss. He's like 50 or 100 times bigger and has like 1,000,000 hit points. Everybody against him or her.
Oh, that'd be fun. That would be fun. I would say that right now, definitely it's all based off of whatever can be functional for team deathmatch, but that will change over time, and then especially based on feedback. If we start seeing things that are just heavily requested a lot, that might be something we can implement. But this will apply to something else than just TDM. But over time, we'll start doing more and more based on feedback.
So the next step is costume designer, right?
Is what?
Costume designer.
Costume designer.
Oh,
Skin
costume
designer.
design. Oh my god, that opens up a whole nother can of worms for content, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I would. I mean, people are selling content in what game is that? VR chat or whatever.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we constantly try to figure out how to navigate same thing that someone brought up with like maps, like inappropriate content or stuff like that. Every time we add new functionality is really fun and exciting. It's also things we need to pay attention to if we are setting ourselves up for privacy issues.